Thought I'd give everyone a quick update on where some of the series we're doing are. This is going to be for CK2, Rimworld, and for Twitch live streams as well. Oh, I'm also going to tease something that I'm not allowed to talk about yet, but don't tell them. They'll never know. Okay, so first things first, then we'll cover CK2 very quickly. I want to talk about the current series that we're doing. I want to talk about other plans I've got, some issues, and then we'll go Rimworld after that, and then live stream. So with CK2, we're doing the horrible tentacle series that is causing me great mental and physical pain. The series itself is fine. The downside to it, of course, is every single video is being demonetized or clapped. Today, for example, episode 2 went live. When I immediately uploaded it, it was fine. YouTube were like, hey, thumbs up, you get fucking adverts on this. And I was like, oh, okay, obviously great, fantastic. Within an hour, within the first 1,000 views, they'd then done a complete 360 and walked away. Adverts were then turned off. No monetization on that video at all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not interested in the monetization to some extent. The amount of patronage that has come out of this series has been massive, so you guys have already funded this series regardless of what YouTube think. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to try and adjust some things, though, to make it a bit more monetization-friendly. Not because I care about the monetization. Of course, it plays into it slightly. It is my job, after all. Try coming home after a long day at work and then be told, you're not getting paid today by those big fat cats in Washington. Grr. The issue with it, really, is that when videos are demonetized, they are not promoted as much, if at all. Especially this series is most likely more the latter, more the if at all category there. So the downside to that, of course, is as we're running the Tentacle series, the channel is not going to grow at all. Like I said, the series is already funded. Don't really care too much about the monetization on that side. But with regards to channel growth, we're essentially saying, okay, this month, we're not going to grow at all, which is, again, fine. I don't really care about it too much. Subscribers are just a number at the end of the day. It's the amount of views you get, and people are obviously enjoying the series, and that's the important thing. But YouTube do unfortunately care about that. If a channel starts to stagnate, YouTube promote it less, and then if you promote it less, people don't get it in their sub boxes, don't get it recommended, then I'm on the streets selling glorious Gamer Boy bathwater, which, let's be honest, nobody wants, except maybe a few of you out there who are probably also in the same Venn diagram as the people who have patronized for the tentacles. But I'm not going to blame you for that one. Thank you for your money. So, what I'm thinking is, it's only good news, really. We are going to stick with the Tentacle series. I'm going to try and make it a little bit more friendly. We'll focus on a bit more on the gameplay as well, because I know a lot of people have just been asking for that anyway. Okay, very funny, haha, tentacles can only really last so long. So we are going to focus on the actual gameplay side of things, which I'm sure YouTube will breathe a sigh of relief over as well. What I'm going to do is probably cut the initial splash screen that's like warning the following series is not for anybody, because I imagine when YouTube have to manually review that, almost all videos I have to send for manual review, which means somebody in YouTube gets the pleasure of watching me talk about Belle from Beauty and the Beast being just utterly defiled. So, you're welcome, by the way. What I'm thinking is we'll slash that screen for a start, because it definitely sends the wrong message when there actually technically isn't anything wrong besides the text itself. Text itself, graphic, explicit, absolutely horrible, but not demonetization worthy as far as YouTube are concerned. Like, there are people who literally done readings of 50 Shades of Grey are absolutely A-okay on massive network channels. So if that's fine, I think there's not much difference, to be honest, between Tentacles and 50 Shades of Grey, and honestly, YouTube need to get their fucking fist out their ass. No, head out their ass if they think that is, if they think that's a problem. I think they're shaming me, and they're shaming you at home, the viewer. So, hey, fingers crossed that'll be enough just to really get us back on the recommended list, because that's all I really care about here, is not watching the channel die to a bunch of tentacle monsters. Now, on the subject to that, I don't think the channel can obviously hold its own with this for a month or however long the series is going to go on for. Generally, we run series for about a month. So what I'm going to do is also restart another series alongside it. A lot of people are probably wondering, did you not already have that with the Form the Pope series? The actual save game, I thought it was the mods. I thought something had updated in Brexit, which generally tends to be the case with Steam Workshop mods especially. You get something updated, adding a new trait, breaks a save game, does some other fancy crap, changes a map, changes a province, whatever's. The issue with the Pope save game actually is the save game itself. So we've seen this before in previous series. So the Game of Thrones mod, for example, had an issue with recursive gods. So we were loading in, the religion was getting another 50 gods added to it. Eventually the save game broke because the gods were just so massive, it was unable to load it. It might be a similar situation in this, because we're running quite a massive mod pack. Might be the Pope mod, might not be the Pope mod. However, I use that mod in other series as well. Sorry, the mod pack, minus the Pope mod in other series too. So that could be kind of indicative of maybe there's something about the Pope mod is broken. but I am going to try and rescue that one. I'm not giving up on it quite yet because we were just getting to arguably the interesting stuff. So that one's on hold. Just wanted to update you quickly on that one. What I am going to do, though, is I'm looking back through the channel. I'm thinking, what will people who've been in the channel a long time like, and what will some of the new people obviously came in with the Wanderer series, because that was massively popular. What would you guys like in combination? Now, I'm thinking, it's been a long time since we played Mythos. The last time we played Mythos was... obviously, we played it with Mad World 1. Mad World 1 Part 2, I'm going to call it, with the dragons and whatnot. Then we actually played it on the Gods of Earth series with Brandamina, of course. So I'm thinking, if I can somehow patch, I say somehow, it should be... I mean, it's doable, but maybe not necessarily easy. I'm thinking we should do Mythos with the Rise to Power Unlanded mod. I think that could be a really cool combination. Might take me a while to actually patch that up together, get that working. So there's a lot of scripted triggers. I won't get too much into the banal minutiae of CK2 mod in here. It's a lot of scripted triggers, scripted effects in the Rise to Power mod that don't work too well with total conversions. A lot of government additions that don't work too well with total conversions. More importantly, for Rise to Power to work, it has to blank out a lot of the base game stuff. And something like Mythos might be heavily dependent on that, but of course all the extra stuff added by Mythos, the fantasy stuff not in the base game that won't interact with that, should be fine. So it could just be a really interesting combination of mods that we've got going for there. Unlanded Vampire, for example, going court to court, stalking around, trying to build up a vampire army sort of in the shadows could be kind of fun. Not that I really want to do too many vampires. There's a lot that we can do with that. There's a lot of potential for it. Werewolf as well. We've never really done a proper werewolf playthrough, so that could be another thing that we might want to check out. You guys let me know how you feel about that one, and then we'll get deep into that based on the YouTube comment section. Really need to stop using these choice of words given current series. Maybe best to avoid that. Anyway, that's the plans for CK2. What I want to do is get a secondary series going alongside, a secondary series of CK2, obviously daily, alongside the Tentacle series. That way the channel can still stay afloat, even if every video is demonetized and rammed into the earth, buried in a fucking shallow grave by YouTube. We can still get by. And again, the series is basically funded by everyone on Patreon, so thank you guys for that. I certainly would not be doing it right now if not for those people, because I'm not getting paid to do it, so I do have to pay my rent, unfortunately. Rimworld, then. With Rimworld, I want to try something different for the next series. The Goblin series has started to fall apart towards the end here. I mean, enemy raiding is a chore. Caravans in Rimworld are always a chore. I dread to do it. I hate to do it, which is why I so frequently don't do it. We're at the end game of that one. We have fulfilled our goals. You know, I wasn't just giving up because caravans are garbage. I haven't actually recorded the last episode yet. I should point that out. So I don't know whether this actually is the last episode. I'm assuming it will be. We've got 2 more bases to destroy in Rimworld. Then we are done with the Goblin series. I say Goblin series as if it's not mainly based around the elves, but hey, that's not important. What I'm thinking for next series, because generally I obviously ask people what they're interested in. Based on that, I'll build a mod pack around it with the help of obviously people on Discord. YouTube comment section obviously can't be forgotten. Sydney as well definitely gives me a lot of help with that one too. I'm thinking this time, because I have a very set way of playing Rimworld, I have a collection of mods that are always core to my playthroughs. I want to really shake things up this time and really make things generally community-led. So what I'm going to do with this one, there's a website that we used for a very, very long time ago for series suggestions. It was actually when people suggested me to play Rimworld on the channel, we used this website for it. So it's a website that basically lets me run a poll for the audience, but you can type in your own options, which I think will be awesome, because that way people can type in mods that I may not have heard of, may not have played, or don't normally play with. And then, obviously, if they're voted up high enough, I feel like I'm pretty much beholden to the audience at that stage, and I'll absolutely give it a go. So I'm thinking I'll have you guys build the mod pack, and then, well, I say that, but suggest obviously a whole bunch of mods, and I'll take all of those, try and get them working into a mod pack, obviously make some adjustments as I feel necessary here and there. I think that could be quite a fun series idea, and then for the scenario, leave it up to you guys. Again, if you've got any suggestions, feel free to hit me with those. If not, we could poll that as well. Honestly, why not? You know, game modes. There are all sorts of various different game scenarios that we never play with. The scenario editor is such a massively unused part of Rimworld that I feel like we're missing on a gold mine of content potentially there. Whether or not we want to carry on with Wave Survival, whether we want to go back to more traditional Rimworld, whether we want to go back, you know, full Jilp, really hard mode, naked brutality, one guy trying to build a base out of nothing. That would be kind of fun. Obviously, one of our most successful series was doing that. I'm leaving it entirely down to the people. You guys... I have some pretty good suggestions. Always tend to fix my mod packs for me anyway. I'm thinking, let's go crazy this time. Let's really open it up to the community and see if you guys can See if you guys can come up with something pretty big. And I'm looking forward to what you guys have got to throw at me, because I feel like it's been a long time since I've had like a really unique Rimworld experience, and I see all these screenshots on Steam and on Reddit and whatnot of people with these really crazy mod packs that look completely dissimilar to my own, and I feel like I must be missing something somewhere. So that's the plan for Rimworld coming up. That will probably be so I'll put up the poll simultaneously where you guys can fill in options, give some feedback, and obviously vote up on each other's mods, more importantly. I'll do that alongside the final episode of the Goblin series. We'll try and put them live at the same time. That way I can immediately hit the ground running. Second that video goes live, I can already start building the mod pack. We might not even miss a day of Rimworld. I might be able to the next day have everything ready and up to go. Going to be obviously quite a difficult time frame to fit that all in, but I think it's possible. I think we could definitely nail that. But that's, I think, all for Rimworld right now. That's not going anywhere. That's not changing. There are obviously some new Patreon rewards regarding Rimworld. So for the patrons for the new series coming up, that will go into effect. So I'll get in touch with everybody over Discord for those of you who are interested in that. Or Patreon. Actually, that would make a lot more sense. I'll get into touch with you. I'm not going to private message everybody. That'd be a bit weird, to be honest. There's boundaries that I'm not going to cross. Anyway, we'll cross that hurdle when we get there. Just keep an eye out, basically. Finally then, live streams. Obviously, I've been trying to do a few more live streams recently. Not saying that the whole YouTube demonetization thing is a driving factor behind that, but coming home every day and telling little Timmy, my hypothetical child in a situation, that I can't afford to buy him a new pair of shoes this summer for the workhouse is heartbreaking for the poor boy, obviously. I want to diversify a little bit. You know, we've hit 50,000 subs on YouTube for quite a while now, and I feel like I need to maybe get out there a bit more, not have literally all my eggs into one basket, just in case YouTube decide that's enough fucking tentacles out of you, boy, and demonetize my whole channel, or delete the whole thing. They wouldn't, but hey, you never know, private platform after all. So I want to diversify a little bit, which is why I'm trying to go back to the Twitch. Obviously, playing Dark Souls. Dark Souls I just felt like playing, to be honest with you, but I think we are going to try and incorporate things like Rimworld and CK2 into that, doing some CK2 masses with the people over on Discord. That's an open Discord, by the way. You can join below if you're interested in that type of thing. Do some big multiplayer games. There's a really cool Rimworld mod that allows the Twitch chat to control what's sent to your colony, so you guys get to be Randy of Randy Random fame. That would be quite fun as well. I'm looking forward to playing that one. Obviously, Rimworld multiplayer is a big untouched side of that, which will work really, really well on live stream. There's a lot we can do with the games that we play, but more importantly, allow me to test out some other games on stream, and if people are interested in it, and if I find it enjoyable, you know, maybe testing out Kenshi on stream, people can guide me. Then when I've got the hang of it, we bring it onto YouTube and do a full series out of it when I feel confident that I can do it some justice. That could be, I think, the best use of Twitch, and obviously it'll also help save the channel falling apart too. So I think that's win-win. So for the final thing, the sneak preview, I'm not allowed to talk about this. So I'm gonna get shouted at for talking about this. But you know what? I think there's some good stuff going on. So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna tell you now. This is a sneak preview, world first, that there is somewhere a team of very skilled and talented and sexy individuals. Mostly me, I'll be honest with you. The sexy and talented stuff. There is a team of other individuals, though, who are working on a modification for a popular grand strategy game that I've played on this channel to a great extent. It's quite a sizable modification for this video game, and it's very, very complicated, and I'd say it's probably roughly like 5% done right now, so don't expect to see it anytime soon. I'm going to throw up a single screenshot now for you to look upon with your fair eyes, and you can glean as much or as little information from that as you want. Everything you saw in that screenshot was made by my fair hands. Everything. Literally everything. Besides, you know, the game engine, the map, and the character frames, and to be honest, quite a lot of it. But you get the point, right? It's going to be, I'm not spoiling anything. I'm already going to get shouted. I've already said too much, and I feel like I've said nothing. So just hold your horses. You know, it's been a while since I've done any big significant modding for the channel. We haven't done a series like Dwemer Contingency for a while. Obviously, modding as we go along. Go to Republic. Some of the other stuff like YT, for example, slowed. It's been a while since we've done modding live. It's a lot of pressure, I'll be honest. Definitely wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it in a hurry, let's put it that way. So I wanted to do a bit more of the behind-the-scenes modding. More importantly, I actually want to kind of prove a point that CK2 modding is accessible to the people, that you at home can do it, and if I can do it, you can definitely do it. And that, more importantly, not all my mods are complete garbage jank. It's just I only ever release the garbage jank ones because I know where my bread is buttered, and I know that bread is buttered with memes. I know the bread is memes, and the audience, you are my butter. Thank you. I don't know what I just said, but you kind of get the idea, right? So we will release some more information on that. pending. That's all I'm saying. Don't get your hopes up. It's going to be a few months. I think that's all I wanted to say anyway. So keep your eyes peeled for that shit. That's all coming very, very soon. Especially the Rimworld stuff. Probably coming tomorrow. So bad timing, really.